He slept in the streets before the world knew his name. He watched his mother suffer, learned hunger before he ever learned fame, and yet, somehow, he became the man who taught the world how to love. Charlie Chaplin once said, "Life is a tragedy in close-up, but a comedy in long shot." Right now, your pain feels close, too close, like it's the only thing that exists. But what if the very struggle breaking you today is the scene that makes your story unforgettable tomorrow? Stay with me, because this is not just his story. This is yours too. Look closely at any life, and you will find pain. Not the kind of pain that makes headlines, the quiet kind. The kind that lives in small rooms, behind closed doors, in the silence after everyone else has gone to sleep. A man loses his job, and suddenly the walls of his home feel smaller. A child goes hungry and stares at an empty plate, wondering why the world forgot about him today. A heart breaks quietly, with no one around to hear it, no one around to help carry the weight. Up close, everything hurts. Every tear looks like the end of the world. When you are standing inside the storm, you cannot see the sky beyond it. You only feel the rain. You only feel the cold. You only feel how heavy your own feet have become, how far away the next step seems. Charlie Chaplin knew this pain before the world ever knew his name. Long before the bowler hat, long before the cane, the walk, the laughter of millions, there was a boy in the poor streets of London, learning what it meant to survive. He knew what it was to go without food for days. He knew what it was to watch his mother struggle, her health fading, her mind breaking under the weight of poverty and sorrow, until the world took her away to a place meant for the sick and the forgotten. He knew what it was to be a child left to fend for himself, wandering streets that offered no warmth, no promises, no guarantees of tomorrow. He slept in cold streets, not once, but many nights. He watched his mother suffer, and there was nothing a small boy could do but watch and hope and wait for a kindness that did not always come. He learned hunger before he learned fame hunger, not just for food, but for safety, for love, for a life that did not feel like punishment. Imagine that boy. Thin shoulders, worn shoes, if he had shoes at all. Eyes that had already seen too much for someone so young. He did not know, in those moments, that laughter would one day be his gift to the world. He only knew the ache in his stomach. He only knew the fear of another night with nowhere warm to rest. He only knew that life up close can feel like nothing but sorrow. This is the truth that no one tells you when you are struggling. The pain does not ask permission before it enters. It does not care if you are young or old, rich or poor, strong or tired. It simply arrives. It sits beside you. It stays. And when you are in it, truly in it, you cannot see beyond your own suffering. You cannot see the years ahead. You cannot see the person you might become. All you can see is today's hunger, today's loneliness, today's heartbreak. All you can feel is the closeness of the pain, pressed right up against your face, like a fog that will not lift. That is where Charlie Chaplin began. Not with applause, not with cameras, not with a world that loved him. He began in the cold. He began in the hunger. He began in the kind of sorrow that makes a person wonder if joy is even possible anymore. And if his story teaches us anything, it is this: struggle is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning, the part written in shadow, before the light finds its way in. But right now, in this chapter, there is no light yet. There is only a boy alone, learning the hardest lesson of all, that life, seen too closely, can feel like nothing but sorrow. But somewhere along the way, in the middle of all that hardship, Chaplin discovered something strange, something that would change not only his life, but the way the whole world understood pain. He discovered that if you step back just a little, the picture changes. Think of a man walking down an icy street. He does not see the patch of ice ahead. His foot slips. His arms fly out. He crashes down hard onto the cold ground. Up close in that single frozen second, it is nothing but pain, the sting of the fall, the sharp jolt of embarrassment, the ache in his back as he lies there on the pavement. If you were that man, in that moment, you would feel only the misery of it. But watch it from a distance. Watch the same fall from across the street, from a window above, from the safety of time. Suddenly, the arms flailing look almost like a dance. The stumble becomes rhythm. The crash becomes comedy. People laugh not because the fall doesn't matter, but because from far enough away they can see the whole shape of it. They see a man who fell and will surely rise again. They see the humanity in it, the clumsiness we all carry, the truth that every one of us has slipped on our own patch of ice at some point in life. This was Chaplin's genius. He took his own falls, his own hunger, his own loneliness, his own broken nights, and he learned to step back from them. He learned to see his suffering not just as wounds, but as a story with shape, a story with rhythm, a story that from a distance could make the whole world laugh, cry, and understand itself a little better. He said it himself, in words that would outlive him. Life is a tragedy when seen in close-up, but a comedy in long shot. Up close, everything is heavy. Up close, every stumble feels like the end. But step back far enough, and you begin to see the pattern, the falling and the rising. Again and again, the same dance that every human being has always known. And here is the part that matters most. Distance does not erase the pain. It does not pretend the fall never happened. It does not tell you the hunger wasn't real, or the loneliness wasn't heavy, or the nights weren't cold. The ice was still ice. The fall still hurt. But distance gives the pain something it did not have before meaning. It turns suffering into a story that can be shared, into a lesson that can be passed on, into a light that others can follow through their own darkness. This is why Chaplin's Tramp, with his broken shoes and his oversized coat, could stumble through the world and still make people smile. Not because his struggles were pretended, but because his struggles were real, and he had learned to carry them differently. He had learned that a man who falls and rises again is not a tragedy. He is a triumph, still walking. What breaks us today may feel unbearable in this very moment. It may feel like a weight too heavy to carry, a wound too deep to heal, a story too sad to ever be told with a smile. But give it time, give it distance. One day, that same broken moment may become the very thing that helps someone else stand back up. Your fall, your hunger, your quiet nights of struggle, they are not the end of your story. They are simply the close-up. And somewhere ahead of you, waiting patiently, is the long shot, the wider view, the fuller picture, the moment when your pain finally makes sense. So the next time life feels too heavy, too close, too dark, take one step back. Just one step. You do not need to solve everything today. You do not need to understand the whole story right now. Just step back, far enough to breathe, far enough to see beyond the wall of pain standing in front of your face, far enough to remember that this single moment, however dark, is not the entire picture. It is only one frame in a much longer film. You are not your worst moment. You are not the job you lost, or the love that left, or the night you cried yourself to sleep with no one to call. You are not the failure that still stings, or the mistake you cannot stop replaying in your mind. Those moments happened, yes, but they are scenes, not the whole story. You are the whole film, not just one sad scene. You are every quiet victory, every small kindness you gave someone else, every morning you got up, even when it would have been easier to stay in bed. All of it belongs to you, not just the pain. Every struggle you carry now is shaping a story only you can tell. No one else has walked in your worn-out shoes. No one else has carried your particular hunger, your particular loneliness, your particular kind of cold night. That is what makes your story yours. Somewhere ahead, someone will need to hear it, someone who is standing exactly where you are standing now, lost in their own close-up, unable to see the wider frame. And your voice, shaped by everything you have survived, may be the very thing that helps them take their own step back. One day, you will look back on all of this, not with tears, but with a quiet smile. A kind of smile that only comes from someone who has walked through the fire and lived to tell of it gently. You will remember the hunger, and you will remember that you learned to feed not just your body, but your spirit. You will remember the falls, and you will remember that you always found a way to rise, even when rising felt impossible. The pain will still be part of your story, but it will no longer be the loudest part. It will simply be the shadow that made the light around it so much brighter. Because pain up close is temporary. It feels endless in the moment, but moments pass. Seasons change, and the sharpest wounds soften with time. What does not pass, what does not fade, is the courage it took to keep walking. That courage becomes your legacy. Not your successes alone, not your applause, not your achievements, but the simple, quiet bravery of getting up one more time than you fell down. That is what people will remember. That is what will outlive every hardship. So like the tramp with his broken shoes, his crooked hat, and his heart still somehow full of hope, keep walking. Do not wait for the road to become easy before you take the next step. Do not wait for the pain to disappear before you allow yourself to smile. Walk anyway. Stumble if you must, but rise anyway. Laugh through the tears if you can, because even Chaplin, in his darkest days, found a way to turn his sorrow into something that healed the whole world. The sun is somewhere ahead of you. You may not see it yet. You may only see the fog, the cold, the long stretch of road still in front of you. But keep walking, one step, and then another. Because somewhere past this close-up, past this heavy scene, there is a longer shot waiting, one where you look back on today and smile.